Great Barrier Reef is a unique marine ecosystem on a world scale. It's 2,300 kilometres long, 900 plus islands, nearly 3,000 individual reefs, and nearly every type of reef known in the tropical world is represented in the Great Barrier Reef. So it's unique and it's a huge system. We've got a huge tourism industry, close to $5 billion per year from tourism. Many people around Australia and overseas come here. So it's large and it's valuable.
People who visit the reef, they talk about, spectacular encounters with whales and turtles. It's just the most amazing place. Mangrove communities, the seabirds, it's very important for dugongs.
It's just a vital part of this whole coastline. People either make their living off it, or they just like to know it's there and it's healthy.
It's a place where we go and we fish, we take our kids and we go swimming, and we go out and walk in the mud flats and flat flats and get cockles, and it's something that we feel very strongly about.
Trying to put so much into a couple of sentences about how much this country, this saltwater country, means to us is very hard. But it's everything, I suppose. It's part of us and we're part of it. It is an invisible connection and understanding, I suppose, between us and the animals and the environment that is so strong. We're starting to really take our rightful place as managers of this beautiful area, and that's where we belong.
I think that World Heritage listing for the Great Barrier Reef gives it an absolute recognition of its status as a natural wonder. It lets us both promote those values and those beauties, but it also gives us a responsibility to make sure that we protect them to the highest level so that we do meet the World Heritage obligations.
The complexity that we understand of the reef's biodiversity and its ecosystem is mirrored by the complexity of influences that man's having on that system.
So these sprinklers look really good. Don't get caught up with ants or anything? No, that's good.
Sugarcane and bananas are the two major agricultural crops. They're by far the bigger employer. Clint's invested over $100,000 on this farm to change his fertigation and irrigation practices to get the maximum benefit out of his fertiliser and optimise his water use.
You can see how the water down here is actually slowed right down. That gives it an opportunity for sediments to fall out, and what that means is you care about the reef and the water quality that leaves your farm, because water quality is the main contributor to the health of the reef. The World Heritage listing for the Great Barrier Reef means a lot. It makes you feel proud to be part and parcel of the landscape up here. It also does have some conditions on that as well, that we have to recognise the fact that the practices we have here impact upon that.
Marine spatial planning and management is the fundamental thinking behind how the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority does its job. So what we are doing is trying to ensure the long-term protection and sustainable use of the Great Barrier Reef region through operating a marine park.
Partnerships are absolutely vital. There are so many different users, stakeholders, landholders, and it's impossible for it to happen without partnerships.
Parks and wildlife rangers are out on the water day to day. They are essentially eyes and ears of what's going on the reef. They're the frontline compliance officers that are looking for people that aren't doing the right thing, but they're also the front line in talking to those users that do the right thing and helping educate them about the values of the reef and the importance of it and how we can look after it.
Now what tag's that?
It's a very large and complex system, and therein lies the attraction for scientists, the challenge for scientists to answer some of the really big questions, such as climate change, such as the impacts of runoff into the Great Barrier Reef Lagoon. And so through government incentives, through organisational leadership, What we've seen is a real bringing together of expertise, and only by doing that, having that partnership approach, are we ever going to answer the really complex questions that are at our forefront right now.
My husband has been a professional line fisherman for the past 25 years. I think the Great Barrier Reef is extremely important to us simply because it's our livelihood, it's our lifeblood. The sustainable management practices such as fishing closures, there's a third of the Great Barrier Reef that is under zoning for closures. There's also spawning closures, maintaining fish stocks and the biodiversity of species in the Great Barrier Reef.
There's been several really important changes, getting the tourism operators to become partners in making sure that we protect and can showcase the reef in pristine condition.
Which one does that one go in?
Red.
Yeah.
The students really do want to become reef guardians. This is an amazing opportunity for the students to actually make the connection between what we do here at school does impact on the reef. They get to see the amazing amount of biodiversity.
Within the Great Barrier Reef there's approximately 70 traditional owner groups. From a management perspective, it's really important to recognise that traditional owners do want to get engaged in managing their country.
If you want to measure where we are,
I can see it, if it's done properly and effectively and with the full cooperation of traditional owners, it can value add to the whole experience of people coming to this country and seeing the GBR and experiencing what it has to offer. I think Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people out on their saltwater estate can just value add to the whole experience.
The challenge for everyone moving forward is how we get that equitable balance between meeting community viability, having social integrity and social cohesion within a community, while at the same time generating the environmental outcomes that we want in this region.
I think it's a really tricky tightrope to walk about development as opposed to protection and management. But we know that with some of the processes that are taking place currently in Australia, that there is opportunities to actually walk the line and to give benefit to both sides.
And that means connection to society and economy. So we live in a pretty special place.
I'm passionate about the reef, and I just think it's such an amazing natural wonder of the world.
People just cannot get the kind of experiences that you can get here anywhere else in the world.
For future generations, the Great Barrier Reef is just such a special, fantastic, unique resource that we just don't want anything awful to happen to.
But really, its World Heritage status comes from its natural values. In fact, I love the expression, the outstanding universal value. How good is that?